We're here with Dr. David Linde from Foot Specialists of Birmingham. Dr. Linde has been doing a whole series with us on various conditions just related to what he does in his work, which is everything related to feet. So in this video, we're talking about plantar fasciitis. And my first question is, I've heard people pronounce this different ways. How do you say it?
Well, I call it plantar fasciitis, but I'm like you. I hear it called everything under the sun. It's kind of a tongue twister.
It is a little bit. There's a lot. There's too many I's.
Yeah, so we have a good laugh when a patient mispronounces. But
I bet you hear all kinds of things.
It's Latin, and people get a little turned around on it.
Yeah, but you know what they're talking about.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this condition. My understanding is it's fairly common, but I would love to hear from you if you could just kind of tell us what it is to start with. Let's just start there. What is this?
Well, plantar fasciitis is almost by definition an inflammation of a ligament in the bottom of the foot, and we call it the plantar fascial ligament. And when you add itis at the end of it, plantar fasciitis, it means an inflammation of that ligament.
Right.
And it commonly occurs in the heel. It can occur in the arch. There are various areas that it can be affected, but most commonly it's in the heel area. And all it is an inflammation. And once you get an irritation to that ligament and it gets inflamed, you start to get pain.
Okay.
And it's hard to heal once you get it because you're stomping on it.
Yeah, right, because you're continuing to walk on it.
That's right. That's right.
So, in your opinion, or I guess not even your opinion, but in what you've seen, what kind of people tend to get this?
Well, it really could be anyone.
Okay.
I mean, there are some groups that tend to get more than others, but, you kind of look at different aspects of this condition, and we find that, there are certain occupations that lend itself to getting it. There are certain biomechanical situations where a person's gait or how they interact with the ground causes great strain on this ligament. So whether it's time and activity or mechanics of how the foot works, this ligament can get inflamed, and so once it gets irritated, we have various methods we do to try and tackle it, get it under control.
You mentioned some occupations are more prone to this. Off the top of your head, what are a few of those?
Well, I know I'm right in the city of Birmingham. Basically, you have all of the nurses and hospital staff and people who are standing for really prolonged periods of time. So I have a large crew of nurses and medical staff that run through our offices. But also, they're just occupations that are hard on the feet.
Right. We
have people who are working at steel mills or people who are doing road work or just occupations where people are in boots all day, they're standing all day, they may be climbing ladders or catwalks and getting a lot of stress. So, those are some of the more common ones. We do see it in athletes as well, but not quite as much as you may think.
But, that is surprising.
Occasionally we get some athletes have difficulty doing it. But certainly a lot of weekend warriors.
Okay.
People who come around and they go, okay, I want to get in shape, or I haven't played golf in a while. I'm going to get out and start playing again, and we'll see some flare-ups in those things.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How much you mentioned a second ago biomechanics. So let's talk about that just a little bit. What part does that play, and what kind of structure are you talking about that could potentially lend itself to being a problem?
Well, biomechanics is just simply how the joints and tendons and ligaments are all moving together.
Okay.
And so as we're walking or if we're running, all those get increased pressure. And there is a particular joint in the rear foot, we call it the subtalar joint, and basically it kind of turns your foot, which is flat on the ground, to your leg that's upright. So it's kind of changing our anatomy about 90 degrees, if you will. But in addition to that, it helps absorb shock of the ground. It helps control how much we can absorb that shock of the ground. And also, as we are getting ready to push off when we walk, it changes to make the foot a little more rigid, so the foot's rigid and you have something to push against. And when those are out of balance, sometimes it puts greater stresses on the plantar fascial ligament. But also, people can have a very high end step, and they may not absorb the shock of the ground as well, and they'll get increased pressure to the ligament in that regard. people who are, for lack of a better word, flat-footed. They
Yeah.
have more difficulty generating force when they're pushing off, and so that puts greater stress on it. So there's a lot of variability, but evaluating biomechanics of somebody's gait and joint motion is certainly a preeminent factor when we treat this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside from the biomechanics and possible occupational, trends that you see, what about age? Does that play a part in this at all?
It's kind of interesting. There's really a wide age group that gets this. And it can be as early as in the 20s. I have seen it a number of times in some younger folks, but I can see it all the way up to, around people in the 70s.
Okay.
I guess people older than that can get it. I just don't see it a whole lot.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a very wide range of time that people get this. And
Yeah.
sometimes I can't explain why.
Sure. It just
it happens. The symptoms are align with the painful symptoms they have, and then we just look at the regular treatment protocols that we go through for it.
Yeah. So at what point, if someone is feeling pain in their foot, and maybe they've started Googling, as we all do, and they suspect that this could be what it is, at what point do you think they should stop hoping it will resolve itself? Because we're all guilty of this. We think, if I just, time, it'll be all right. At what point should they stop doing that and call you?
Well, nobody really wants to go to the doctor.
Exactly.
And a lot of times people are like, well, okay, this might just go away in a few days or take a little bit of time and go away. And it's a rather natural way of thinking. Right. It's a matter of quality of life, how much it's affecting your activities, a big component of plantar fasciitis is a lot of pain when you get up after a period of rest. So getting out of bed in the morning, or if you've been sitting for a while and you get back up and you're having pain, that can be an indicator of this condition. Most things I see that are painful in the heel or the arch region would be aligning with plantar fasciitis, but really you got to be real careful because there's a lot of other things that it can be, and you gotta distinguish that before you just go ahead and treat it.
Sure.
So in terms of timing, a couple weeks, figure out whether your symptoms are starting to diminish or not. Try some things. There are some simple things people know, whether it's stretching or icing, that kind of thing. I do have some opinions on how it's done, but you can try a couple simple things, good stable shoes, supportive running shoes, different things that would be basic. But if it persists, it's better to go have it looked at. It's a condition where it's, much easier to treat when you catch it earlier.
Okay.
When you catch it later, it's really a chronic condition, and you're fighting a little hard to get over it.
Okay.
So, within a couple weeks, if you're having a problem, unless it's really painful.
And then just go ahead and call.
Yeah, you never know. There are other things it can be. It can be a stress fracture. It can be a cyst. It could be other things that are happening. So.
And you just won't know until you get in there and take a look.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So again, we've been talking with Dr. David Linde from Foot Specialist of Birmingham. He's just here to talk with us about a variety of conditions related to the feet, which of course, most of us have feet. Yeah. This is a concern for the greater population. So we just thank you for your time. And if you are looking for a great podiatrist, if you even have a question about why your feet are hurting or why things just don't feel right, just go ahead and call Dr. Linde. You can visit his website at bhamfoot.com. It's a great place to start. You'll find the phone number. You can also reach out through the website. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.